Hey everyone, it's Krishna Perkins here with your San Antonio housing market update for May 2025. If you've been watching the headlines or wondering what's really going on with home prices, mortgage rates, and local trends, this update is for you. Before we dive into the San Antonio specific numbers, I'm going to walk you through one key article and two market forecasts that could shape how you buy or sell this summer. Stick around to see what the experts are predicting and how it compares to what's actually happening here in our market. First up, our article from CNBC by Jessica Dickler, and the headline reads, Federal Reserve holds interest rates steady. What that means for credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, and more. Now, this definitely reads as bad news looking at the headline, and take it however you want, but it does give us the indication that we're not going to see a big change in interest rates anytime soon. So whatever plans you have for purchases, counting on a big interest rate drop this season isn't going to happen. Maybe towards the end of the year we might see some movement, meaningful movement, but right now I wouldn't count on seeing a whole lot of difference in interest rates in the next few weeks. We are in the middle of May, so it takes approximately 30-45 days from contract to close. So what you see is what you get, I believe, in interest rates, and we'll get more feedback here on the next slide of information. Mortgage rates are projected to come down slightly. So here we have 5 estimates from 5 different entities: Mortgage Bankers Association, Zillow, Fannie Mae, Wells Fargo, NAHB. Everyone is a little bit different across the board here. Mortgage Bankers Association is the most pessimistic on interest rates. This is a prediction as of May 7th, and they're at a 6.7% interest rate. NAHB, it's at 6.53, and then all the way down here, the most optimistic guess here is from Wells Fargo at 6%, and for an average of 6.39% out of all 5 of those entities. So that's where the projections are for interest rates. When those actually are going to come true or could come true, it's anybody's guess. But home price growth, and this is national home price growth, we're looking here at 7 different entities here, and home price growth is all across the board here, from negative from Zillow, negative 1.9%, all the way up to 4.1% appreciation by Fannie Mae. Now, take it however you want to, but home price growth is going to differ from neighborhood to neighborhood, city to city. Not everyone's going to see home price appreciation. Some are going to see home price depreciation, but it is a mixed bag for sure. But looking at this, though, just about everybody has a positive outlook on appreciation nationwide, with the exception of Zillow. And now switching over to our local data. You can see we are sharing the April 2025 data that is now complete here in this first week and a half of May, and we came in with 4.9 months worth of inventory. That is an 8.65% month over month increase in inventory. That's quite a large jump in inventory. We're still just outside that balanced market zone there. I believe we can get there probably in the next month or two, but 98.2% sold to list price ratio. That's still good news for sellers. That means they're getting almost 100% of their asking price if they're priced correctly, these homes that are selling. The typical days on the market here, we're looking at 39 days. That's down, actually. That's down almost 24% month over month. So they flew off the shelf quicker in April than they did previously. So that is good news for sellers that have their homes priced accordingly to the market. They were able to get it done without having too much hassle sitting on the market versus sitting on the market. Median sold price, the typical sales price, in San Antonio actually rose up to 298,000. That's 1.1 about 1% month over month increase, and that is typical and seasonal for this time of year. You're going to have some of your larger homes being sold in the San Antonio area, so the median sold price naturally would rise in that May-June time frame, and then it'll start tapering down towards the end of the summer. The median estimated property values for the month of April came in at a median $289,050. That is a 0.5% increase over the previous month. And over the last 12 months, we're looking at a 1.3% negative property value. So they did come down a little bit. What I noticed in most of the property values that I've looked at, the structures on the properties went down in value, but the land actually increased in a lot of these properties that I was evaluating this month. And newly listed homes in San Antonio for the month of April, 318,700 was the typical price for those newly listed homes. That's up 2.8% month over month. Number of properties that came on the market up 2.9% for 2,982 properties. As you can see here, if we're looking on a year-over-year basis, we are about even there with May 2022. So as far as the asking price and then the number of properties, we're going to switch over to that view. We're on track to match the number of new properties that entered the MLS for sale for 2025 here. And active listings homes, these are the ones that haven't sold. These are the ones that are contributing to the longer days on the market and the increase in inventory. The typical price for these homes is at $310,000. That's up a little bit, 1.3% month over month. The number of homes that are sitting on the market still, they've already been on the market for at least 10 days, 5.8% increase month over month, 8,231 properties. So there's a lot of homes out there. They're sitting on the market. They haven't been sold. If you're a buyer and you're only looking at the new listings, I encourage you to go back and look at the active listings. These sellers are highly motivated. They're ready to sell. They're perhaps just waiting for an offer. I can't tell you how many times I've had a listing and we had a few showings and then 1 or 2 offers, and that's what you have. So that, if they're sitting there on the market, don't just wait for the price decreases. Go in there and make an offer. Typical days on the market, 56 days. That's 5.1% month over month decrease. As you can see here, number of properties here is still continuing in a rising trend. So we'll see how that progresses throughout the year and how any future interest rate cuts might affect that. And then down here to new pending listings. These homes just went under contract for the month of April. The typical sales price or list price for those homes, $308,000. That's a 3.7% month over month increase. So a little bit more expensive home being sold there in the beginning of April. The number of properties that went pending, on the other hand, that is down month over month, 17.5% month over month. So less properties went under contract, new pending status versus the month before. As you can see here, we're looking at that trend. So pending listings is still coming down. What does that mean for buyers? That means there's going to be more. We're projecting more availability of properties based on the current market conditions. If they remain the same, there's going to be more and more properties available if we continue to see new listings come to the market. And for sellers, that means more competition in this data point here. Pending listings, these are the older pending listings for the month of April. They were left over from the previous month. Typical price here, $309,997. Number of properties, 2,140. Again, also in a downward trend for pending listings. month over month. Days on the market, though, these homes that did go pending, they're snatched up in 31 days. That's down 22.5%. So they're going fast. These homes that are priced accordingly, if you're a buyer and you're looking for something in particular and you see it and you feel like that price is a good price, if you've been watching the market or you're working with your agent and you've really run the numbers already, don't hesitate, because 31 days isn't much time for a property to be sold. So if it looks like a good price and it feels like the right area for you, jump on it, because 31 days isn't much time. And homes that were sold in San Antonio for the month of April came in at a median sold price of $298,000. That's a 1% month over month increase. 1,421 properties sold there in the month of April. Again, looking at the trend line, though, we're still, you can see that from left to right, that is in the negative territory, still coming down. We got folks on the sidelines, worried about interest rates, worried about jobs. That's all kind of translating in the data here. So just keep an eye on that, but know that it is there. If you're thinking about putting your home on the market, just look at these trend lines and be realistic about expectations and pricing. Supply, months of supply, again, wrapping up here, months of supply, 4.9 months worth of supply. That's how long it would take if no other homes were listed for sale in San Antonio. We got 4.9 months worth of supply. That's an 8.6% month over month change in supply increase, and 23.7 months, 23.7% increase in supply over the last 12 months. So big jump that last month, 8.6%. We'll see if that holds in the next 30, 60 days. So that's it. Here, where we stand heading into the heart of the 2025 housing season. More inventory means more options for buyers, but also more competition for sellers, which makes pricing and presentation more important than ever. If you're wondering what all this means for your home's value, go to www.homevaluetx.net. I'll personally review your details. No automated estimates, no obligation, just clear data, backed opinion of where your home stands. Thanks for watching. If you found this update helpful, give it a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more local insights each month. See you on the next report.